Greetings, 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 greetings. Happy Thursday. Happy, what is this, second week of May already. Congratulations for being here. This is Blair, and welcome to our live stream for the week. As mentioned, this one are the 6 musts to excel in sales, and some of these are not really obvious. Those of you who don't know me, Rich Dad Advisor, Robert Kiyosaki, author of 3 best-selling books, and over the last 25, 35, I don't know how many years, been working with hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. And so out of all of that, it's not that I'm that smart. It's just that I've been around a while. So there are certain things that you got to have if you're going to do well in sales. And by the way, not just good in sales, but good as a communicator. Okay. So again, hey, Angela, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I trust you're doing well. Anand, welcome. Good to see you as well. And as always, ask questions. Just ask as many questions as you can. Anand, good to meet you again. Good to see you last weekend in the program, and welcome from Mumbai. Mumbai in India. Hey, Grant, good to see you. Good to see you. I enjoy spending time with you on Clubhouse every Monday. So again, any comments that you have about this would be great. But I want to go over 6 criteria, 6 musts if you're going to be great in sales. And like I said, some of them are not obvious. So here we go. I'm going to start off with number 1. I'm going to start with number 1. Number 1 is, as you can guess, what is it? Those who've been with me before, it's energy, right? We always say that 2 people come together in a selling situation, person with highest energy wins. And if you don't believe that, if you've got kids, let me ask you the question: if their energy is higher than yours, who wins? Yeah, right? And again, we all know that intuitively, but it's not just crazy energy. It's the energy to persist. It's the energy to have a high mood level, which is the second part of that. So if you're going to look to hire somebody or bring somebody in to sell with you or sell for you, or you want to do it yourself, one of the number one skills, one of the number one criteria is energy. You've got to be able to have energy. And I will go so far as to say you got to have high mood levels, low mood levels, apathy, high mood levels, enthusiasm, right? Why? Because there are days when you don't have it. That's the truth. There are days you don't have it. And to be a professional communicator, whether it's sales, whether it's talking to your team, talking to your family, your spouse, whatever, sometimes you have to manufacture good energy and manufacture a high mood level because you're just not there. I don't know, anybody that operates in that zone all the time, I kind of question a little bit, but we're all normal. We're all human. So the deal is to be able to manufacture when you don't. I mean, I was reading a great quote from Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic Roman emperor. And he said this, he says, in the case of no matter what anybody does to you, even an enemy, somebody that's malicious, respond to it with kindness. With kindness, I want to respond with revenge. I want to respond with retaliation. I want to respond with anger, whatever. He says, if the person that can respond with kindness is always in control. So again, that's a micro example of what I'm talking about. But if you've got a team, if you've got other people that are looking to you for leadership, sometimes you cannot afford to have a bad day. And your energy has to be good. My sister, she's an award-winning teacher, Sarah Singer-Nori. She says this, it's all about state change, the ability to change your state, to change your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual state on command. And it takes practice and it takes discipline, but it also takes the willingness to be aware. Hey, Joanne from Sydney, good to see you. Good to see you. So number 1 on the list, if you're going to look for somebody to come in, whether they're volunteer, whether you're hiring them, or if it's you, learn to have good energy. You'll say, well, Blair, I'm just a naturally shy, down person. Well, then change. That's just your little voice making an excuse so you don't have to change. Okay? I don't know there's not a person on the planet, and I've met plenty, that can't resurrect passion when they need to. And if you're trying to sell something, not just sell a product for money, but if you're trying to recruit people in your team, sell a dream, sell a mission, you need energy. Our mission is to elevate the financial well-being of all humanity. Really? Come on. Our mission is to elevate the financial well-being of everybody in the world. Now, is there a difference in the two? Absolutely. One puts you to sleep, exact same words. Okay. The other one wakes you up. Okay. So number one, if you want to be good in sales, here's the other thing I'll tell you. If you encounter somebody in a one-on-one that's interested, at least pretty interested, okay, let's assume that, and you can raise their mood level within the first 2 or 3 minutes, they will buy. Now, I know it's a pretty bold statement, but I'm going to tell you that my experience is if they have the interest, a little bit of interest, and you can raise their mood level, they will buy. So it's not only about getting your mood level and energy high, but you infect other people with yours, okay? So that's number one. So if you got any comments about that, just type it in the comment box and I'll continue to respond to those, okay? By the way, those of you who want more information on how to sell and the steps of the selling cycle and all those great things, you go to blairsinger.com. There's some amazing free videos. It's hundreds of hours of great video from Rich Dad Advisors, myself, from some of my mentors and teachers that are all designed to help you succeed, okay? So go check it out. And also check out our YouTube channel. All right, number two. The number two criteria must or whatever for a good salesperson is, you could probably guess this one. It seems pretty obvious. It's called persistence, right? Persistence. That's why when I wrote the book Sales Dogs many years ago, I used dogs as the metaphor for salespeople. Why? Well, people say, well, why not cats? Why not cats? I'm going, well, no offense to cat lovers, but a dog is very loyal. A dog is very persistent. You can yell at the dog, scold the dog, even hit the dog. I don't recommend hitting them, but and they cower a little bit, but they keep coming back for more, and they will not abandon you. Your dog is truly a man's best friend, and they crave. I've owned dogs all my life, and they crave your affection. They crave your companionship more than anything. Just like a good salesperson, they're not put off by objections. They're not put off by insults. They're not put off by those things because they just want to love you. They just want to take care of you. Okay, so persistence. So persistence in what kinds of things? It's that. By the way, that's why I said sales dogs. There's 5 different breeds of sales dogs. Okay. There's the pit bull, the aggressor, the charming poodle, the social butterfly, the data freak, the anal chihuahua, the at your service golden retriever, and the just one-on-one build rapport basset hound. What do they all have in common? They're persistent. They don't give up. They don't run away. And that's what it takes. By the way, it's not only with a customer. Persistence in practice. So you hadn't maybe thought of that. Persistence in practice. What do I mean by that? Well, if you got a presentation to make, you practice it. If if you're new in sales and you're new in objection handling, and you practice and you practice and you persist. And when you practice some more. Still to this day, if I'm doing an important video that's going to be used again and again, I may go through several takes of it. But that's only after I practice it about 5 or 10 times. Okay. So it's like, again, not good enough. Get it again, do it again, and be persistent, not only in dealing with customers, but persistent in your own training, persistent in your own, and molding your own little voice to work in your favor. Okay. So what's Angela say? Highest energy wins. Energy to persist. High mood levels, high enthusiasm is important. Manufacture good energy. The person can respond with kindness, is always in control. Oh, it's a recap. Thank you. Must be able to change state on demand. Learn to have good energy. If you can raise the other person's mood level, they will buy. Yeah. Thank you, Angela. That was very nice of you. Thank you for doing that. Awesome. Okay. So persistence. Number three. Here it is. To be great in sales, to be a great communicator, to be a great leader is to be 100% clearly real. Now people say, oh yeah, authenticity. Yeah, I get authenticity and I'm authentic and all that stuff. I've never really got that word. I mean, I understand it, but what I do understand is being real. You can tell when a person is real and when they're not being real, when they're putting on a show and they're not putting on a show, whether what you see is really what's behind the words and the image. So these days, I think that people want to be able to trust somebody. And who are they going to trust? The world is filled with bad information. The world is filled with misinformation, fake news, fake data, fake this, fake, everything fake. But what you cannot, and some people try to fake themselves. But if you're the person that is 100% real, takes down the disguise, takes down the mask, then you're gonna be one step ahead of those that are not doing it, and you'll be able to build trust. Why? I just want to know the person I'm talking to, I can relate to. You know, and people say, well, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, but Blair, you know, I can't be 100% real. I mean, if I was 100% real, people might not like me. I mean, what if they found out that my car's a beater? What if they found out that I'm broke? What if they found out that I fight at home? Or what if they find out that all that stuff? What if? Well, you know, we all have issues. There's not a person on this planet that doesn't have an issue. Some people say, I got all these skeletons in my closet. I joke with people. I say, I got a whole cemetery in my closet. But here's the difference. I'm not afraid to tell you about every single one of them if you want to know. I can't think of anything that I wouldn't share with another human being at this stage in my life, okay? The only reason I wouldn't is because it might trigger you or might trigger somebody else to get very upset, not with me, but just get very upset. And there's no percentage in doing that. But I'm not afraid. And if you're going to be good as a leader and communicator, to be 100% real. If you don't know something, say you don't know. If you're a little concerned or you're afraid that maybe you're not ready for what the next task at hand, be honest. Say, look, I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure that I'm ready to do this. I'm not backing out. I'm going for it anyway, but I'm just telling it as it is, that I'm just a little bit nervous right now. That's okay. It's good. Okay. Don't be telling people all your sad stories, to get sympathy. That's not good, because then you're not being real. What you're doing is you're telling the truth, but you're not telling it for a real motive. Your motive now is to get sympathy. Be 100% real in the moment right now. No past, no future, right now. And sometimes that's really, really hard to do. David Belfer. Sounds like the name for a good program. Get real. We went through a program like that in South Africa, didn't we, my friend? Yeah. Okay. So again, 100% real. And you can practice that at home. Practice it with your spouse. Practice it with yourself. When somebody asks you a question, tell the truth. Tell the truth. And when your little voice, mine does this, so I'm just admitting on this. When my little voice wants to embellish it just a little bit more, it's like, the fish was this long when really the fish was maybe about that long. Okay. Resist the temptation to exaggerate it. Try it. You'll catch yourself. And it's a great discipline to follow. If you can somehow learn to tell the truth. Because the only reason we don't do it, only reason I wouldn't do it, I'm not going to speak for you, but what I've observed, the only reason a person would not do that is because they're looking for sympathy. They're looking for somebody to like them better. They're looking to impress people. Don't do that. Just be you. Here's what I know. If you're just 100% you, that's way impressive enough. The problem is that most people spend most of their lives not even knowing who they are and trying to pretend they're somebody that they're not. And they wonder why they don't get the results that they're looking for, okay? So 100% real. Angela, oh man, I love you on these calls, man. Look at those great summaries. Amazing. Yeah, and as my friend David Belfer says, presence. Presence. What is presence? Presence is being in the moment, right here, right now, no other distractions. Connected to your audience, connected to the other person, connected to nature, connected to whatever is going on right in the moment. One of my mentors, Mac Newton, says anxiety is a major cause of stress, right? We know that. Major cause of stress. He says the funny part about it is that most of anxiety is either focused on the past or the future. The past you can't do anything about. It's gone. It's over. The future, of all the things you're worried about in the future, what he says 75% of that's not going to actually happen. You're just focused on the negative things that could happen. Of the remaining 25%, most of that's not as bad as you think. And for the 5 or 10% that really it could possibly happen, just prepare yourself to deal with it. Okay? Not the whole 100%. Okay? So being very, very present is good for your immune system. It allows you to be a great communicator, and it allows you to forces you actually to be 100% present. Be present with other people. I mean, think about it. You've been with people that were physically there, but mentally they were checked out, right? They just weren't there. Their brain was someplace else. And I'm sure you've been in the same place. 100% real right now. And you know what? If you're interviewing somebody to be a salesperson for you or to be on your team, you'll get it right away. You're more perceptive than you think. You'll sit there and you're going, where's this person at? Are they here? You know, you might want to address it and they go, oh yeah, my mind was someplace else. But if they drift off again, if they're doing it with you, they're going to be doing it with customers too. So you might not want to deal with that, okay? Lights are on, but hopefully somebody's home. No guarantee, David Belfer. No guarantee. Number four. One of the other things to be great in sales is meticulous and almost, and by the way, I'm not the best at this, and I'll tell you why in a second, but meticulous and almost anal follow-up. In other words, just because you're ready to sell doesn't mean somebody else is ready to buy. So what does that mean? For me, what that means is I'm not that good at keeping track of it. I'm not that good at following up with people. That's why I create systems, follow-up systems, referral systems, testimonial systems. Why? Because if it's a systemic part of the business, I don't have to think about it. It just happens automatically. Somebody executes it, I execute it. It's just a normal part of our selling cycle. So I don't have to think, oh, I need to follow up. Oh, I need to follow up. No, it's built into the system. Why? Because I know myself. I know that I'm not that great on follow-up, right? So to be meticulous with follow-up and to follow up, and here's the other thing about follow-up. And by the way, you can follow up all kinds of ways. You can follow up with a phone call, with a chat, with a text message, with a newsletter, a weekly newsletter. We do all those kinds of things. But here's the key. If you're going to follow up, add value. Don't just say, hey, just thinking about you. What's up? That's not going to work. You had mentioned that you were interested in buying something a couple months ago. Or you still might be interested. That's not going to work. What is a way that you can continue to add value to a person's life for free without having to be a pest? You know what I'm saying? But in other words, it's one thing to be meticulous on follow-up and keep trying to close after they've already said no. It's another thing to be able to just continue to follow up by adding value, giving them more information, giving them some tips in their bit for their business, whatever works. Because there will come a day when their current supplier, whatever it is that they're using, or whatever products or service they're currently using, they'll have some doubts about. We all do. And on that day, if you've been persistently, meticulously following up, then you think, maybe I should give Blair a call, or maybe I should send him an email and ask him, what they're up to these days. Now you have an in. But if you disappeared, you are completely out of sight and out of mind. Okay? All right. That was number 4. Number five. Okay. Some salespeople don't like this. Actually, mediocre and poor salespeople don't like this. Good salespeople love this, okay? But this is the piece that makes or breaks your organization, allows you to move forward or not, and that is accountability. Now, what do I mean by accountability? Well, okay, that's a big word, Blair. Everybody does accountability. Here's what I mean. I mean accountability to numbers, your numbers. Remember this. We've talked about it. If you go to blairsinger.com, there's a whole piece on how to identify your selling cycle. It's a selling cycle. Those are the various steps it takes from gaining a lead all the way to closing it. Okay, what are the steps? For example, maybe you start with a video. Somebody responds to your video. You chat a comment back to them. They chat back to you. You ultimately move them into a consultation in which you can talk to them, do some discovery, and then a second consultation where you close them. Okay, so I don't know, that would have been 5 or 6 steps. That's what I mean by a selling cycle. Accountability means that you measure each step of the cycle. In other words, how many videos, how many people viewed it, how many people opened it, how many people, you see what I'm saying? And so what happens is by being able to tweak this number here and tweak that number there, you'll ultimately improve. I have a friend, some of you may know him. He's part of our Blair Singer Training Academy, a longtime friend. He was also a franchisee of mine years ago. His name is Jason Everett. And he is a Chihuahua, a cross between a poodle and a Chihuahua. Okay, he loves to charm, and he's very good at, great presenter. And he's also very meticulous, particularly with social media. And he was showing me some of his numbers the other day, and he goes, and they're starting to spike. After a couple of years of doing very, very well, now they're starting to take an acceleration curve. He sent this to me. He goes, Blair, thank you so much for helping me on this journey. This feels like the balloon game all over again. Now, the balloon game, those of you that have been to our Sales and Leadership Mastery program, you know what that is, where all of a sudden your numbers kind of cruise along and then your results kind of take off and go through the roof. Okay. And that's what's happening for him. Why? Because he's doing this thing, this number 5 thing. He has a team and they measure every step of every cycle and they tweak it and tweak it and tweak it and tweak it, tweak it and tweak it to get each one to improve. And now it's starting to really take off in terms of very, very healthy 7-digit incomes for him. Okay. So meticulous and accountable to your numbers. Know what your numbers are. And again, you may be great at closing, but you're not good at getting leads. Maybe you're good at leads, but you're not good at one-on-one conversations. So, but you won't know that unless you're measuring it. And as the late Dr. Edwards Deming said, if you can measure it, you can improve it. You can absolutely improve it. Okay. So again, an accountability to numbers. So that implies 2 things. Number 1, that you understand your selling cycle, map it out. And if you don't know how to do that, go to blairsinger.com and check out the video on selling cycle. I'll give you several examples and you'll pick up on it really, really quickly and know how to measure it. Measure that and do that for your team. Your whole team should be doing it. And at once a week at the least, but once a week, get all those numbers up there, put it on a spreadsheet and take a look at what's going on. And you will see where people need coaching. You will see where that people are not that far away from being rock stars. They're just getting tripped up in one area and they may not even know it if they're not keeping track of it. So when you're interviewing somebody to be a salesperson, ask them about accountability and and explain the benefits of that. But for yourself, map it out, put it on a spreadsheet and determine what it is. And every day, put in your numbers. Every week, look at the numbers and look what's strong, look at what's weak, and work on the stuff that you need to work on. Okay. Make sense? All right, so it's accountability to numbers. And number six, probably nobody will tell you this one, but I'm going to tell you this one. If you're going to be great in sales, if you're going to be a great leader, you're going to be great in communication, parenting, anything that you really want, you want to become financially free, whatever it is, you must become what I call, excuse me, you must become what I call a, excuse me, a little suspense there, must become what I call a crazy student. Crazy student. What do I mean crazy? In other words, you're unreasonable. You study what you do more than anybody in the world. Why? Because you love it and you want to be great at it. So let's say you want to be a great golfer, okay? You would be you'd be a crazy student. You would read everything you could on how to on technique, on strategies, on golf courses, about great golfers, what their mindset was like, what their stroke was like. You'll seek out the best mentors in the world and be trained by them, and you'll surrender to them, and you'll do exactly what they tell you to do, and you'll never ever stop learning, and you'll love it. You'll continue to take lessons. You'll continue to improve. You'll sit at the driving tee and keep driving and keep driving, keep driving. Why? Because you're a crazy student and you love to learn. So if you're going to be a teacher, I don't know about you, I want a teacher that's a crazy student about what they love and about what they're doing, okay? David Belfer, you're in the hair and the beauty industry, and I know you're an amazing student of your craft and what you do. But not just that, you're also a master of studying the little voice and what makes people tick. And that's why your clients build such amazing rapport with you, because it's not just about the hair, it's about who they are as a human being, because he's a crazy student about people. A crazy student about people, okay? So again, if you're going to be great in sales, you got to be a crazy student. You may not be the best in the world in sales, but you will be the best student in the world on sales. And people will pick that up. You'll become a wealth of information to your customers, your clients, to your colleagues, to all that stuff. So what are you going to be a student of? You're going to be a student of your little voice. Remember, the number one sale, the most difficult sale, is you selling you to you, right? That's the most important one. So you're going to study that. What other little voice tool can I get? Can I learn? How can I? You'll study Eckhart Tolle. You'll study Tony Robbins. You'll study whatever you can to get your mind in shape. Okay. What else are you going to study? Negotiating. I mean, if you look at these books on the shelves. Negotiating from different masters. You'll learn closing. There's probably hundreds of closing techniques. You're going to learn every single one, and you're going to study them and practice them, and study and practice some more. How to deliver a pitch. All these things, not because it's laborious and I need to do it. You do it because you love it. And why do you love it? Because you love being good at what you do. And when you're good at what you do, you make good income. Now, if you're excellent at what you do, you make excellent income. If you're the best at what you do, you make the best income. So be the best student and make the best income. Okay? So these are the 6 traits: energy and mood levels, persistence, being 100% real, meticulous follow-up, accountability to numbers, and being a crazy student in the art of what you're doing. Crazy student in the art of what you're doing, okay? So I'm just going to take a pause there. But Angela, thank you so much for summing all this up. She got all 6 of them. You guys want to make copies of all that. You do this because you love being good at what you do. Wow. Thank you, Angela. So what questions do you have around sales? What questions do you have around how to be the best that you can be, or any of the 6 things that I talked about? Because like I said, at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that change. Technology changes. Technology changes quickly. It changes fast. Teams change. They change very quickly and very fast. But one thing that doesn't change is your ability or inability to communicate. I always say this, is that if you have a business, a bigger business, one of your primary assets in your business is your team, right? If your team is all rowing in unison, rowing together, right? But it can also be your number one liability if you can't communicate internally as a team. So that's why I'm saying that these skills are not just of great salespeople. These are skills These are skills of great communicators, of great leaders, great teachers. Remember, I always say that great leaders are also great teachers. And so again, any questions that you have or any comments that you have about it, just type them in. What's Anand say? When the teacher is ready, hungry, and humble, students arrive. Yeah, it's usually said the other way around, right, or not? Is when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. But when the teacher is ready, I think that's really true in many ways in this day and age. If you're ill-prepared, not prepared, if you are kind of winging it, if you aren't serious about what you're doing, people kind of pick up on that and they don't show up. And so I agree with that. To an extent. So I think that when the teacher's ready, students show. When the students are ready, the teacher shows. Either way, the issue is, are you ready? Are you ready? Have you done the prep work? By the way, I'm happy to announce, and maybe we'll do this at one of our future live streams, is my new book, which is called Summit Leadership. First draft is done. Give that a big round of applause. Woohoo! Okay, big round of applause. And the reason I say that is because it is leadership and sales are very, very similar. Think about it. Sales and leadership are both the art of getting other people to do something that maybe they weren't going to do to begin with. Does that make sense? In other words, leadership, we're trying to inspire people to take action, to do something that maybe they weren't inclined to do prior to you talking to them. In sales, you're doing very much the same thing. And that's why great salespeople can be great leaders. And great leaders should become great salespeople because you're the lifeblood of the organization. Okay, so Angela's got a question. As a small company, how can you look appealing to a large corporation? Okay, so we could be here for another hour on this one. This is a great question, Angela. And I'm assuming you're talking, I know that you work with small businesses all over the Phoenix area. I think at least that's what you used to do, and helping them come up to speed, get started, startups and all that. So how do you look good in the eyes of a big corporation? Well, first of all, you got to ask yourself, why do you want to look good in the eyes of a corporation? If that's your target market, then yeah, you might. Although I'm not sure that is the number one criteria. Large corporations don't expect you to be a large corporation like them. Okay, if they were doing that, they wouldn't be talking to you. They'd be doing joint ventures and other things that you can't do. Okay, because they would joint venture with somebody else that has lots of resources, which maybe a small business doesn't have yet. Okay. But here's what will work. And I've had a lot of success with this, and the people I've coached have had a lot of success with this. I was just doing a group coaching with a group out of Japan last night, and a woman used this as well and landed a huge deal for herself. So here's what it is. Ready? It's your mission. What is your mission? And some people, okay, mission, big deal. No, it is a very, very big deal. If you take a look at great companies, whether big or small, they have inspiring missions. If I told you that my mission was to was to help small businesses in North Scottsdale, Arizona, to start up and become successful. But if I told you that I'm building a network of trainers to help small businesses in over 40 countries around the world become the best that they can be and generate 7-digit incomes, which one sounds better? Obviously, number 2. Now, is it going to take you a while to get there? Yeah, of course it will. Okay, and maybe you won't even get there, but your vision is bigger. People are attracted. The bigness is not in your physical size, Angela. The bigness is in the bigness of your dream, the bigness of your idea, the bigness of your mission. How big is your game? See, the problem is people play games that are way too small, way too small. Okay. Their mission, we want to be the best hot dog stand in Arizona. Okay. But what do you want to do for other people? Think about the great mission statements like of Microsoft and Amazon and Tesla and Starbucks and Apple Computer. And again, I don't have them all in front of me, or Nike. And you'll see that in every one of those mission statements, the size of the mission is in the wording. In other words, to improve the quality of life for everybody. Okay, to enrich, to inspire the human. I think it's Starbucks. To inspire the human spirit, one cup of coffee at a time. That's huge. That's huge. Okay, now but they say one cup at a time, one neighborhood at a time, one store at a time. Okay, but it's big. You're out. How many in your mission, Angela? How many people, when you're coaching your clients, how many people can you serve? How big is your game? And what happens is you'll see people come right up against their resistance. Well, I can't. I'm just a little guy. What can I do? What can I do? You can dream is what you can do. And if you have a mission that you're passionate about, then you will attract other people that are inspired by that game as well. So one of the ways to look bigger in the eyes of other companies is to have a big plan, a big mission, a business plan that you may not fully execute, but you're hell-bent on making it happen. Okay? Remember this. The law of attraction says that the bigger the celestial mass, the bigger the mass, the more there's attraction. That's why the sun, bigger than the earth is attracted to the sun. And the only reason the earth doesn't go into the sun is because it's got a lot of speed, so it orbits around the sun, okay? So if you're going to attract yourself to a large corporation whose gravitational mass is bigger, that's theirs. But if your speed is high, as you're attracted to that company and your speed is high, you won't get sucked into them, or you just won't get ignored. You'll actually begin to orbit around there. And what makes you attractive is, where are you going? What are you doing? Well, we provide software solutions. Really? That's it? Can you give me something a little bit better than that? You know, you could say something instead. Say, look, our goal, the goal of our organization is to provide, how can I say this? To provide software solutions to organizations that are committed to exponential growth around the world. You don't have to even say around the world. But when you just say software solutions, big deal. But we're committed to software solutions to companies that are growing quickly and need them just in time. Now, that assumes a much bigger game. It also forces you to change your business around a little bit. Okay? That makes sense? Okay, so as a small company, how can you look appealing to a large company? By the size of your game, like by the size of your mission, and to have a battery of great testimonials, we call them now case studies. I have a case study of this company, a portfolio of 10, 12, 15 great case studies that you can pull depending on the company that you're working with, okay? Many times large companies don't want to work with other large companies. They want to work with somebody smaller because they know that they're going to take better care of them. They know that they're a big fish in somebody's small pond, okay? So the way you look appealing is by having great case studies, a great mission statement, and being a great communicator, okay? All right, let's see where you're going. Anand, just curious, Blair, great salespeople sometimes suck at network marketing. They are not duplicatable. Please share one tip to be duplicated in network marketing, even if they're a champion in personal sales. Okay, I love this one. This is easy, okay? So Anand, understand this is that if some people say they're good in sales, okay? They sell. That's fine. But the secret in network marketing is not whether you can sell, is whether you can recruit other people and teach them how to teach other people how to sell, okay? I'll say it again. The key in network marketing is not whether you can sell, it's whether you can recruit people to be on the team and then teach them how to sell and teach them how to teach the next guy how to sell. Now you got something going here. So the skill set that's missing is the teaching element. If they're good in sales, okay, then that's fine. Okay. But if they're going to build an organization, they need to be able to recruit, which is not quite the same. It's close to sales. They need to be able to recruit them. And then they need to also teach them how to sell, and then teach them how to teach the next guy how to sell. And that builds depth in your organization. Okay. Now, the other thing about people that are good in sales, well, I'm good in sales, but they rely, see, the challenge is they rely on their company, or they rely on the credibility of an established organization, and they don't get their own leads. That's the other thing. So they're good in sales, but they're not good in marketing. They're not good at generating their own leads. Most people that are good in sales that have trouble in network marketing have a little voice going on, like that they're, well, you know, they're a little ashamed. They shouldn't be, but they are. They're like, well, yeah, we sell skincare products or something. We sell supplements. Okay, so tell me what. But you know why? Because there's an image of network marketers that's somehow inferior class, which is not at all the truth. I mean, some of the wealthiest people I know are because they understand how to sell, how to build teams, and how to teach the team how to sell. Okay, so again, you say, well, we sell supplements, we sell health products. Really? Is that the best you got? You say you're good in sales? Say, look, I'm part of a new organization, and we've helped thousands of people generate anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 of passive income a month. Is that something you might be interested in? You go, well, yeah. How is it? Well, it's a business got an amazing product that really has been able to reduce stress levels by 15%, cure people of chronic diseases. Something I use myself that's helped me lose over 50 pounds, and something I think it is just a one of a kind in the market. But the real gift is that if you love the product, you have an opportunity to generate complete financial freedom for yourself. Now I'm fumbling through it a little bit, but you notice the presentation is a lot different. You're not apologetic. You're leading with what works, and you're playing a big game, and your energy's high. It's all the things I was talking about right here. Well, not all of them, but energy, mood level, being 100% real, being persistent, all those things. Okay. So hopefully that helps answer your question. There's many more pieces to it, but that's part of it. How many people can you serve? Have a big plan, big business plan. Law of attraction says the bigger the mass, the more the attraction. What makes you attractive is where you're going. Yeah, where you're going and the size of your game. Okay. It's one of my standard lines. How big is your game? How big is your game? Okay. Any other questions? So Lucky King keeps bringing down here. Sales equals income. Sales equals income. Sales equals income. Yes, it does. Sales equals income. So it is the skill. These 6 qualities that I've shared with you are skills that if you're going to generate income, you just need to get your arms around them. And, you know, it's fun, particularly if you do it with other people. If you have a team and you learn these things together, if you go to, like I said, if you go to blairsinger.com, there's a ton of training videos there that'll teach you and your team how to sell. It'll teach you and your team how to sell your little voice to stop sabotaging yourself. And also, if you go to my YouTube channel, I have even more in depth on this topic and several other ones too. So go to the YouTube, subscribe and share it with other people, and check them out. I'm checking out. I'm putting up more YouTube videos now than ever. So we're putting up 2, 3, 4 a week. So you want to get the latest and the newest, because one thing I will guarantee you, you will learn something. And the second thing I'll guarantee you is when you learn that thing and you apply it, it will make a difference, a positive difference. Those are 2 guarantees, okay? So go check out YouTube and go to blairsinger.com and check out the videos there. I've got 30 years of experience trying to condense it down into small bite-sized pieces so you can use it right now. Okay, so go check that out as well. Okay, all right. If there's no other questions, I'm going to start winding this thing down. We've been out here about 45 minutes. And again, if you've got questions, give us some comments. Put some comments in the comment section of things you want to learn, and you want me to go into more depth on. If you have some particular questions, or if you just don't agree, and tell me why you don't agree. And I love that too. And then we can get a good debate going on. But again, these days, your ability to sell, your ability to lead, very similar. But it's the type of person you need to become in order to be good at it. It's not so much what you have to do. It's who you need to be. You need to be of high mood level. You need to be persistent. You need to be real. You need to be meticulous, be accountable, and be a crazy student. Okay? All right. Thank you, Anand. Angela, thank you so much for your support. Wherever you are, thank Angela and check her out. I hope I'm promoting you right. I mean, I haven't talked to you for a year or two, but she's the master of helping small businesses, particularly getting their technology together and getting themselves up to speed quickly. So again, thank you, Angela. Thank you all, and have a great, great, great week.